I'm the operations manager of Coast Shelter, and Coast Shelter on the Central Coast has the carriage of all the refuges on the Central Coast. So that is the 3 women and children's refuges, 5 youth refuges on the Central Coast, a men's refuge and our Coast Community Centre. Most often these refuges unfortunately are full, and we have a chronic shortage of low-cost affordable housing on the Central Coast. People come into homelessness for a whole range of reasons. At the moment, unemployment is a huge one. We have pockets on the Central Coast of over 30% youth unemployment at the moment. Domestic violence is still the main reason why we have women finding support. It has no socio-economic divide. I've been in the sector all up now around about 27 years, and I don't think I have ever seen the gap between the haves and the have-nots as wide as what it is. I say to most people, if you don't own your own home, you're probably about 4 to 6 pay packets away from disaster. What we have is a real changing face of homelessness. We like to put it that it's no longer just the stereotype of the old man on the bench with a brown paper bottle. It's you or I. It's as simple as that. It's any one of us. There's not too many of us that have money to tie us over for extended periods of time if you know, the chips are down. So it's you know, a case of any one of us can be looking for a room in a refuge.
My name's Kelly. I work at Alandra Women and Children's Refuge up at Toukley area. I've worked in refuges for 22 years, been at this specific refuge for 3 years. We work with women and children escaping domestic violence or at risk of homelessness. They stay with us approximately 8 to 12 weeks. We are crisis accommodation. After that, we also have transitional homes. We have 7 transitional homes connected with our program. And they're situated out in the community in various areas. A client comes in and she's in crisis. After the crisis, we can transition her then into a medium-term housing. That medium-term housing, she can stay there up to 12 months, her and the children. And in that time, we try to find them some more permanent accommodation so they can move on out of the program altogether. I've worked there for 22 years, really enjoy my work. The buzz that you get when you see a woman come in, downtrodden, and children, and leave with that self-esteem and that reassurance. And it's all about empowering women. It's about empowering women to take their life back again, and also the children. I feel very privileged to work where I do. I feel privileged that I can walk that journey with that woman and the children and come out the other end.
Due to domestic violence, the first place I called, the first number was the department. It ended up being the Department of Community Services, and they were the ones that hooked me up, put me through to this shelter, and that's why I ended up here, because I had nowhere to go. They offer you counselling, help you out with finding houses and places to go, a kids play group where you can take your kid. It's been very good, you know, like staying here, being safe, not being able to fear for your life. Without the Coast Connect, I'll probably be on the street somewhere.
My name is Bianca and I work as a caseworker for Coast Shelter. Our clients are young people that have come from traumatic backgrounds. Some of the backgrounds include family breakdowns, domestic violence, drug and alcohol use within the family, sexual abuse, and lots of other forms of trauma. Part of my role as a caseworker is to prepare these young people to live independently when they move out of the refuge, and this support includes goals such as assisting them to reconnect with family, budgeting advice, linking them with services such as mental health, and assisting them to overcome trauma that's occurred within their life. It's so rewarding as a worker to be able to see these young people change their lives for the better through programs such as Youthfengle, where we focus on preparing them for independent living, basic household tasks such as helping them to learn how to grocery shop or even to vacuum a floor, basic skills like budgeting that they've often not been exposed to before they've came to Youth Angle.
My name's Phil Medju. I'm a client of Coast Shelter. About a year ago I had a severe car accident which caused me to lose income, and when I fell behind in my rent, couldn't afford it any longer, which forced me to go stay on friends' couches and sleep out of my car. At the time I was helping raise money for the winter sleep out and met a few of the Coast Shelter staff who recommended me to come in and see them and see what help they could supply me with. For about 3 months I had to just kind of wait on hold for a bed sitter to become available, and then they moved me in there, which gave me the ability to have my daughter on weekends, school holidays, Christmas and stuff. So Coast Shelter as an organisation has helped me with the financial side of things, with talking to Centrelink, medical appointments, mental health awareness.
4.5 years ago, my ex-husband walked out on myself and my 3 children, and he stopped paying for the mortgage and the car repayments, and our car was repossessed and our house went to the bank, and I had mounting bills and I couldn't pay for them, and an auntie told me to go to Coast Shelter because she worked at docks. And I came to Coast Shelter and I received a lot of help. Facing homelessness was one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever been through in my entire life. My children kept me positive and determined to improve my circumstances, but it was a very difficult time in my life. And now today, my children and I are doing really well. We're living in a nice house. The children are doing well at school. We are happy and healthy. And facing homelessness has actually influenced my study path. I've just completed a Cert 4 in drug and alcohol and a Cert 4 in mental health. And I'm currently studying youth work. My children are succeeding at school and we're all doing really well, thanks to Coast Shelter.
I'm Charles and I'm the Program Manager of Coast Shelter's Coast Community Centre. It began as a restaurant back in September 2002, just serving a few meals a week, and it's grown to what is today a very it's a centre offering a comprehensive range of services, practical help and support to not only the homeless but also the most vulnerable and disadvantaged members of our community. At the core of the community centre we have a restaurant that provides meals every day of the year. It's a centre that doesn't close. We're open right through. We do lunch and dinner every day, and we do a Sunday breakfast. And this last year we provided approximately 51,000 meals. In addition to that, there's a whole range of other services. We do no interest loans, for instance, under the Good Shepherd Microfinance and National Bank no interest loan scheme. And this last year we provided 129 loans for almost $99,000. And that's for any worthwhile purpose, like if a fridge breaks down or washing machine, buy a new mattress, new lounge, fix your car, all those sorts of things. We help with food hampers for people who are having problems with their budgets in that particular period. We help with energy bills through the EPA scheme, which is a state government initiative. We help with prescriptions. It's very important that clients are taking their medication regularly, and if they haven't budgeted that particular fortnight, we will help them with their scripts through a local chemist. We have our other services are, like we have a solicitor every Monday. We have general counsellors in on Tuesday and Friday. We have several chaplains that work through the community centre on different days. And we have 2 partners in recovery, mental health facilitators on site through the week.
I was an employment consultant for a job service provider. I was a very high performer in that job. I had a caseload up to 150 people. But things started to turn bad when a lady and her sister were transferred to our office. I was subjected to bullying for over 2 years. I started to drink very heavily and to control some panic attacks that I was having, and as a result I wasn't able to leave the house, and so I kept calling in sick. I was so heavy into the drinking at the time that I just couldn't maintain my residency, and the bills piled up. I had suicidal thoughts. I was homeless at that point, and I decided that I needed to do a detox and go to a rehabilitation centre. It was a 3-week wait to get into the detox, and all the while I was living in my car. When I first arrived at Co-Shelter, not only did they help me with arranging my medication that I was not being proactive in taking, I was able to shower on site, I was able to wash my bedding, my clothing, even use my hairdryer. I was offered a home, but not just any home. It was actually in a new development that was just completed about 5 days before I moved in. Co-Shelter has a wonderful relationship with all the community housing providers in this area, and I don't know what they did to get me into this house, but I still remember the moment that I walked in. Charles, the program manager here at Co-Shelter, was with me when I walked in the door for the first time. And I don't know how many oh my gods, oh my gods, oh my gods I said, but there were plenty. And I think I hugged him continuously. And I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor, but I felt like a queen. It was so nice. And especially to have running water of my own.